Dual Cultivation, WN, Chapter 70. How are you still alive? Choiwi staggered in midair, feeling as though the entire world was spinning. Why, you can't possibly be alive. That is impossible, she repeated, her voice filled with disbelief and shock. Su Yang found her statement quite interesting. Why would she say that he was dead? After all, I have seen your lifeless body with my very eyes, she continued, dumbfounding Su Yang. She had seen his dead body? How was that possible? What do you mean by that? You saw my dead body? He asked her with a frown. 2,000 years ago, you were announced dead, and I had even attended the funeral. That was also where I witnessed your lifeless body within the casket with my very eyes. Su Yang didn't know what to think of the situation. If she really saw his dead body, then what about his current body that looked exactly the same as his previous body? And where did that supposedly dead body come from? Surely, it can't be real, right? Or was his current body the fake one, and his real body had long collapsed? More importantly, what did she mean by 2,000 years ago was when she attended his funeral? Could it be possible that over 2,000 years had passed since he left the eternal retribution cliff? Even though to him it felt like an instant? However, as doubtful as it sounded, that explained why she, who was only a little girl when he'd last seen her, become so developed and mature looking. Why, you are farting. This is all a ploy created by the sacred moon palace to capture me. A rascal like you cannot possibly be my senior Su. Choiwi denied his existence as the tyrannical pressure reappeared, this time even stronger than the previous. I will make you die an excruciating death for trying to fool me with senior Su's appearance. Su Yang's eyes widened at the vicious killing intent emitted by her, even panicking when he confirmed the seriousness within her diamond-like eyes. At this rate, she will really kill him out of anger. Suddenly, a thought flashed through Su Yang's head, and he furiously shouted. What an ungrateful kid you are, Choiwi. After all that I have done for you when you were just a baby, and this is how you repay me? By aiming for my life? I am disappointed in you. I have even changed your dirty diapers numerous times. I still remember it clearly, that small crescent moon birthmark you have imprinted right under your belly button. When Choiwi heard Su Yang's furious shouts, her heart skipped a beat even though her cultivation base was many times superior to his profound spirit realm. However, what caused her to drop from the starry sky was not his voice, but his remarks on her birthmark that only two people in this world knew. One of these two people being her mother and the other being the mentor who'd treated her as though she was his real daughter because her real father, the moon god, was never there for her, Senior Su. All the killing intent in the air quickly dispersed like smoke on a windy day, and Choiwi descended from the sky to stand before Su Yang on the roof, nearly tripping and fall upon landing. She looked at him with her beautiful silver eyes, her mouth trembling, looking as though she was holding in her tears. Why you were really, Senior Su? She asked him in a low, shaky voice that was still filled with doubt. After all, she had definitely witnessed for herself Su Yang's dead body during the funeral 2,000 years ago, and she believed that he was gone since then. How was he still alive? What really happened to him? And why was he here in this world? Su Yang showed an affectionate smile towards her, who was slowly approaching him like a toddler trying to reach her parents. He widened his arms and said in a gentle voice, although I do not know what had happened to you or the four divine heavens after I left, there is anguish deep in your eyes, and I can clearly see that. Come, Choiwi. Tell me about it, as you'd always complain to me about your troubles. Senior Su. Choiwi jumped into his arms and began crying her eyes out. Despite her age that was over 2,000 years old, when in front of Su Yang, she felt like she was still a child who barely knew how to talk. You are alive, you really are alive. When she felt the way Su Yang caressed her hair and patted her head, all the doubt in her head about his identity instantly disappeared, as the feeling of his touch was the only thing in this world that could not be duplicated. As for Su Yang, there was only joy in his heart at this moment. Even though he was embracing a peerless beauty that could easily destroy a continent or two with just her appearances, there was not even a tiny fragment of impure thoughts in his head, only pure love and tenderness. You are already an adult, yet here you are, crying in the arms of a 16-year-old like a crybaby. Su Yang chuckled at her actions, but she didn't care and continued to tightly hug his robes. After taking a few moments to cry all of her tears out, Choiwi looked at Su Yang and said with a serious expression, where have you been for the past 2,000 years, and what are you doing here in this world, even taking the appearance of some mortal kid? Do you have any idea the turmoil that happened around the four divine heavens after your death? Su Yang smiled bitterly and explained his situation to her. He started from when he met the mysterious old man who offered a helping hand to help him escape the eternal retribution cliff to how he ended up in this world instantly after. So you see, although 2,000 years may have passed for you, only a month's time has passed for me. Unbelievable, Choiwi mumbled, feeling dizzy from his story. Enough about me, now tell me about your end. What happened to the four divine heavens, and why are you here? Where is this place? And you mentioned the sacred moon palace wanting to capture you. Why is that? You are the daughter of Yuhai, the goddess of the moon from the sacred moon palace, who particularly owns the place alongside the moon god. When Su Yang mentioned Yuhai, her mother, Chuyu's expression darkened, and her skin paled. Mother, she is no longer in this world, she suddenly said in a low voice. WWH, what did you just say? Upon hearing her words, Su Yang's eyes widened with disbelief, his gaze filled with shock, and a wave of deep pain jolted his mind, nearly causing him to fall to his knees. He began staggering backward, and suddenly, all the blood from the pressure that was suppressed within his body were all coughed up at once, staining the roof with even more blood. Senior Su? Cho Yui made a terrified expression when Su Yang suddenly collapsed on the roof. Her body instantly reacted, and she flew towards his falling body.